That's what it is. All right, let's see. There we go. Okay. Y'all. So now. That's fine. Now it's kind of a matter of putting these things on the background for one, and fixing the background for another. Where? Yeah, I think that's. Just everything's kind of going in the same direction. Lighter color. Still not. Yeah, I think that's fine. All right. Okay, let's. No. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of roll with that, I guess. I don't know. It's not the best, but hopefully it's good enough. All right, and then up above everything. First off, grab that color. New layer in here. going to, again, kind of just put shape down, and then I'll refine it a bit after. Just kind of how the process goes. Okay. And so that already it's going to kind of, I did not, well, I think I did. That's already going to help kind of tie things in, ground things, so it looks like they're on the actual background. Now we need to drop that down. Going to we'll do a pen, I think this. Maybe we won't be able to do that brush. We might even soften the shadows a little bit better. It's kind of, yeah, I don't know. This might be a little bit. Apparently there was a little spot there. That I kind of think is correct. Back that up. Right there. There we go. Oh, I didn't clean that up at all. That needs to be cleaned up. That's by it. Yeah, I need to soften the, I think, the highlight. It's fine. For now, it's fine. But we need to go in and soften the highlights for sure. There we go. Okay. Go like that. Here, going to real close. Yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah, I did miss a couple little spots for sure. Yeah, I don't like how harsh this little line is. On top of like how smooth the line is. Like, that is not a smooth line. Definitely gonna have to fix some of this. I go in with like an airbrush. But we'll knock this out first, and then we'll kind of get into fixing it. From that transition. And it works a lot softer when you're like blending kind of color over stuff, but if it's the only color on that layer, it's real harsh. Definitely some little spots there I missed when I did the shadows, and that's a little funky, so we need to go back and fix some of this for sure. That's not okay. So then also need to kind of throw shadows, other bits here. So let's put a new layer here. Main, I guess, background shadows. Items, I don't know. You can always come back to that. But definitely need to get that back there, and these need to be in shadow as well. So that's another thing that needs to kind of be looked at. Okay. I want to give this a little bit of three-dimensionality as well. Multiply 70 to match everything else. And, So I don't like that. Might have to adjust that. Go here. Side. Alright, I'm going to bring out. Just to try and maneuver that a little bit. What is that? Oh, that's because there are tiny gaps. Okay. Go in here, fix that. Okay. Should fix all my little gaps here real quick. A little bit. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I've got no gaps in stuff, which I totally do. So that's one of the things you run into when you use like the paint bucket with anti-aliasing. Is it will make those little gaps thing, and most of the time I get them, but this time definitely missed some. You never really know until you. It's a different color, so yeah, you never really know until you put like a background color in, and then you see the background coming through. So it's always good to double check stuff. That is maybe a line. No, I don't know what that's from. Probably on the shadow layer. Yep. Okay. There's always little things. Yeah, those are just gaps. Grab that color. That there. Okay, so just a line there. Yep. Okay, back to here. Nope. Line. Oop. Yep. All right, so yep, that wouldn't have been right. Line. It's not the line. Oh, I think it's, yeah, gaps. There you go. Gap. Little gap. Right, let's see here. Gap. Gap. Yeah, so when you have colors that are really close to the color of the canvas, you. Oops. That on the wrong layer? No, okay. That's just the wrong color. All right. Threw me off. Okay, and it looks like the gap there. a lot easier when it's a dark color and a light color to see where the gaps are, but sometimes it's fine. Alright, so got that. Alright, so now we want to go to the main. There are a lot of layers here. Let's grab that color. Alright, so then, yeah, I want this is going to, oh no, that's going to be, that's that, and that right there. That's not that. Okay, so I can put this up here. Yeah, we're going to roll with that. This all in kind of shadow, and then push the shadow back. Oops. This is where it gets a little funky. And ditch this. Let's ditch this for now. We're gonna have a few shadow layers, is what this comes down to, essentially. I'm gonna have a shadow layer between these two. But now I can do this and not have to worry about certain things. So in here, we're gonna hit that and come down outside of that. And that, this will be kind of shadowed. Alright. Change that, let's drop that. Move ND, multiply. Again, I'll probably soften a lot of these background shadows up. Okay. All right, let me just need to erase that edge. I'm gonna have to come back and hit that again for sure. Do that, I guess, right there. Actually, it's that back. That doesn't overlap. Okay, we'll do that. All right. Now, could make this a lot easier and just select the actual layer element. That would definitely make this simpler, but I'm already kind of committed to this, I guess. Alright, that's fine. I'll call that good, I think, right there. Oops. Bring this over. Wonder if we did that. Alright. Something like that. Soften that up. Do this a little bit. All right. I wonder if that would make that. Did that. Zoom out. Does that make any sense? Probably not a lot. Guess we'll back that off. Do that. That I like, but the other part I don't think I care for. All right, so we're making progress here. Let's grab this. We're gonna go in here. Yeah, all of that. Why is it so much darker looking? Okay, it's not. It seems like it, I guess. Which is fun. Alright, let's get this. I'm just gonna fill this part up here. And then definitely going to hit this. All right. I might have to get going. Make parts of these just locked in. On only those parts so we avoid these weird overlaps, missed sections. Don't know. So, I mean, technically, I would blast this. That kind of come across that. Yeah. Come. Yeah, you know what? I could probably put that all together. I don't really need a separate one for that. If I'm gonna have this all in shadow anyway, I'm gonna delete that layer. That I like having separate. Okay, and then it's going. Bump this up, and we're gonna get rid of all of this. Okay. Which is fine. So what I want to do. I'm gonna leave that by itself. I want a separate layer here, and I want to. Only yes. Okay, then we're gonna hit this. Do this. No. And guess what I think I need to do? Do that. So copy these. Duplicate. Merge the selected layers together. Hit that. Invert that selection. Mask on that, and then this. A little bit convoluted, but it gets us where we need to go. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna get, let's see. Gonna get this done. Oh. Let's just slam that for now. Drop it to 70%. No. Shrink the brush up. Cool. And start erasing the parts that I don't want shadowed. say that right there. Going to be kind of lit. So okay, kind of do it like that. Not what I wanted to do. All right, 2. Throw a small back there. I think I'll kind of shrink that up a smidge. That's that front end bit back in here. It's fine. Throw that bit there. And here, come up, over. Nope. All right. Cool. So back this up. Looking pretty good. Looking a little bit more three-dimensional. Always nice. Let's see. I need this here. Bump the size of the brush up. Zoom in a smidge. Oops. Okay, so I need to go under that. Oh yeah, I guess that's still not. Okay. And we put that there. Now it'll be what I'm trying to do. We'll just kind of throw a small shadow showing that definitely good to go. All right. And we can add darker shadows, top of stuff, new layer in here. So if I go in here, drop that, I kind of throw in a darker shadow here. Oh, that right here. I'm putting a lot of extra effort into this for whatever reason. I don't have to put this much in. It's not necessary to get too detailed. I feel like I'm probably getting a little bit out of hand, but some people really enjoy getting into the detail, and that's absolutely fine. I try to keep things a little bit more simple just because I only stream for 2 hours every week-ish. So I try not to get too bogged down with that kind of detail. Doesn't always work out, but you know, I do my best to not let that happen. All right, so yeah, let's get in here quick. Just going to kind of throw that there. So essentially I'm kind of going for the spots that are kind of shadowed underneath shadow. So it's kind of getting a little bit extra shadow, and technically you kind of get some bounced light back. And there's lots of things you have to take into account when you're lighting your scene and whatnot, but for now this is kind of where we're at. I'm gonna keep it simple. That'll keep me from going insane, essentially. I mean, like, you could throw a line in here for all of these and you wouldn't be wrong, but I don't think it's entirely necessary to do that. Again, I'm trying to kind of limit myself a little bit on what's going on here. So now I need to kind of throw a whole layer over everything. From the lines, I want this color. I don't. I want to do this. I'm going to bump this way up, get everything. That's terrifying. Just the red eyes. So okay, drop that down. We'll do like 10%. Light. What did I do for this highlight? I did soft light. Okay. So yeah, now we can kind of push it. Okay, like 25. That's not too bad. So now I'm going to get about here. Going in here, actually, yeah. Let's hit that. Go up here. Pen. I'm going to. I want to go the opposite. I'm going to erase all of those out. All right, and then let's go here. Okay. Magic wand. here. I think this time I actually want that. Yes. That. I did that one. I did that one. Down. Yes. Grab 2 again. Grab another 1. That. Finally got my canvas rotation situation working, so that's nice. Okay, I think that's the thing. All of that. I think I might have accidentally erased something there, which is interesting, but that's fine. We'll come back to that, fix that. It's okay. Alright, so we got those up to here, and we're just going to all of that. Okay. So click off that, and I don't understand. That. I need to go back down here. This. My magic wand, let's grab that. Just select all of this. I'm going to redo those. Yeah, see, I don't understand why. Oh, probably because of their shadows? That's interesting. Okay. Fix that. Nope. Okay. Alright, so let's invert that. Back up here, back to here, back to brush. Okay, so I'm gonna reapply. Okay. Whoops. Probably got a little bit carried away there. Okay, and there. That's wrong. Man. Okay, well, we'll try and figure it out. I don't know. Well, could have just started with being more well set up. Okay, so let's just and okay, let's get in here. That down. I guess I'm just kind of going manually and make some adjustments here. we will eventually make our way through this. Okay, we need to put that out there. We don't want any of that. Well, I guess technically, I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation. I put that in there already. So I really don't need it to be on them. It's getting a little funky in the spots here. Yeah, we don't need to double up on parts of it. I don't really understand why they're kind of the way they are. Fine. Right there, but we need this to go away. That's got real funky. Alright. Like the idea is to kind of unify the elements, but at the same time I don't want them totally, I don't know. I'll need to probably separate those eyes from the fine art layer. Okay. No, that is absolutely not. Okay. Let's see. All right. Am I gonna go back and add some of this back in, but I'm not 100% sure. Rather go through and kind of erase it out first and see how it kind of looks. Nope. I know I definitely don't want it in the shadows at the very least. I don't know if I want it on the visual parts of stuff either. Okay, I gotta take a quick break here. I will be right back. My apologies. I will be. Okay. Apologies, we are back. Okay. Had to help with some stuff real quick. Alright. Yeah. This nonsense. Again, I might kind of put it back in, but I don't know. If I put it back in, I might like add another layer in here and do the same kind of thing. Just semi-redundant on certain parts because I've already put the highlight in there. Well, I put the highlight, I guess. This would be kind of just overall kind of bathed situation. So much easier when there's a line to separate color instead of just the end of a color I have in this background. A lot of it's just the end of a color, this shadow. Okay. We're all good there. Yeah. Okay. Nope. That little bit did not get separated. Cool. The one thing I know is I really don't want it in the shadow. I want the shadows to be nice and cool. Oh yeah, I still have to fix that. All the shadows should be good. Really just kind of funky. I think I have to separate the highlights up because you have these that are kind of how I wanted it. You've got Eevees that are just not really the way I was anticipating. Pretty strong color on them. Ink. Only one thing we have to undo. Flareon. really not doing a whole heck of a lot, but already pretty orange. Go in and we'll fix the excess erasing here in a second. Alright. Alright. And anyone has any questions or anything about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, I will attempt to explain it the best I can. If you have any questions about the program or anything like that, I'm always happy to let you know what's kind of going on to the best of my ability. Again, I don't know everything, but I do my best to kind of have an idea of what I'm trying to do, at least. All right. I think that's all a little bit. See, I like that. I don't know. I could hit that. Yeah. That and invert that. Let's make a new layer here. And let's bump that up so I can see. Oh yeah, I can kind of throw this in. I can see. Better. But okay, so I need to whatever. Okay, so let's just do no here. Slide. Up. Soft light. We'll drop that to like 25. Again, I don't want it for the shadows that much right now. I think it's all right the way it. Leave that for right now. Here. All right, again, getting a little bit to it here. Let's go here. I want to, yeah, first off, I do want to fix this. So I'm just gonna left this a mess. Come that. Alright, but I do want to... I think it's really just Eevee and Umbreon. Start with Eevee here. And not all of Eevee, just the like brown. The light brown is a little bit too intense on the that. Shift. That's fine. And don't have to worry about. Okay, so that's all of, oops, all of that. Cut and paste that. And drop that. Yeah, 35 is much better. I guess we'll have to go in here real quick. Now, this looks like okay. Cut and paste. That. Yeah. 50. That's better. Okay, and then we can come down here. I guess we could do Leafeon's ears. Okay, let's try and get all this. Oops. Okay, so let's cut and paste that. Get 50. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a bunch of. I kind of almost want to bump these up. Aside from that, all right. Even at 100, that's pretty light. Here, we hit that. I think that's fine where it is, I guess. All right. This one. This one. Down to like 50. There we go. Okay, so now things are a little bit more balanced. Saturation wise. I think that's looking pretty solid. to city. And I think I would put one layer above everything else. This. Bump that up. Got that way. I will see. I will let you know. This is probably gonna take it up all the time, but there we go. That's a lot better. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. But I'd be happy to warm up with that next time. For sure. Okay, so I'm going to delete what is on this layer. I think if we try softening color-wise. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's not terrible. Oh, just like that. All right. So now what I kind of want to do is make this a I could almost ditch the highlights, I guess. Realistically, I don't know. I'll roll with it the way it is, I guess. It is what it is. Similar. That's up in the later. Probably should set this up first. We are going to brush on. Okay. That's not. That's much closer. Okay. I see it. Here. There we go. Alright, I guess I'm gonna around. kind of works. I think what I should do is do it on a separate layer. That way, worry about too far. Erasing the part I don't want to erase. Nope. Cool, that'll work. Right, and then merge those together. Okay. Those all the little depths. All right. And let's pop a new layer up here. We'll leave that alone for now. That's flat. Real more. Oh, there we go. And then copy that and paste it and then do stuff. this one. Yeah. Okay, so let's just yeah, I guess we just rasterize it, that's fine. Alright, so we've got those both rastered. Alright. I want to okay. Just 10 pixels. Too much. To expand it by maybe 5. Let's look at that. Yeah, we'll roll with that. Okay, so we're gonna layer in here. I'm gonna drag it down. Right. Okay, well, my apologies. There was some stuff going on. All right, I've got those. Now I need this again. Over here, that. And that. All right. I'm gonna expand that selection. Let's look at 5. I think might be a little short on it, but I don't think it's too bad. So we'll just kind of roll with it. So then come out here. Good, looking pretty solid so far. Almost like a real card. Alright, let's go. Do yeah, pretty good. Pretty close. I guess I could just leave it as a pill shape. I don't mind that. Alright, well, I've got that. Now we can put in the energy, the HP. Looking at this card is giving me something to strive for because I definitely can improve. It's definitely a possibility to improve here. But it's not a bad start. And I think as I go through, it'll kind of, hopefully I'll get better. That's the whole idea, is the more you draw, the more you do the thing, the better you get, theoretically. Okay, so then I think I want to that. Okay, all of this should be text. All right, and then let's see, put this back in the middle here. That's that pill shape. Put that there. No, I want it separate. Yeah, we'll separate it for now. Black is, I don't know why it defaults away from. Go with that. Here, and I need a new 50. I'm literally just going to copy the information that's on this one. The aerial. With that, that's fine. Here, I'd have to shift everything over. Okay. We need to put zip. glass layer. Oh, okay. That's nice. Oh yeah, I always forget. Like, why is it not? It's because grab that. It's kind of. All right, grab that. That. To expand that out, I'll do 3 pixels on this. Here. All right. Now, I want this. Go down here. I want that, and I want to shrink that. 3. Let's do 5. Okay. All right, and then I want to do here. Right. That kind of does that. Pen and plastic. I'm gonna drop that way down. We're going to pop a new layer here. Technically, I could just hit this. Yeah, okay. Do that real quick. Just it's pretty close. All right. Not perfect, but it's not even remotely close. But, you know, we can fix it. Kind of adjust it a little bit here. That's better, but not great. Yeah, that's pretty bad, but yeah, okay, well, it is what it is. It shouldn't look perfect or anything like that, so it's all good. Alright, okay, so that's up, that's there, that's there. Kind of just copy that. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna finish this, but I wish I was more familiar with the text on this program, but separate. Merge that here, grab that, grab it. Whatever. That. Yes. Right here. Going to merge these to grab those and slide there. Cool. Okay. Go ahead. Not drawing a rectangle. That. Actually, let's not do that. Drop that down, kind of hit it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so if I do that, that's something that it should do. Okay, now, yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna copy, grab it. And oh, yeah, probably. Top now layer. Here. There we go. All right. And there we go. There's. Right, and then I need camera. Right back up here. And both sides of the brush up. Okay. Not too bad. Cool. And then this drops under that, like so. That. Not that bad. Okay. I want these. Shift. Merge. Oh, okay, we're a little over, but I'm out here making progress. Yeah, we can grab another one of them. Alright. Put in the rest of that information, I guess, next time. We're kind of done with it. Again, not the greatest illustration in the world, but I mean, it looks pretty good. And it's the first card I've done, or in theory a series of these that I want to do for each evolution, because I think that'd be fun, and I hope to improve on each subsequent card. So that's kind of the idea. And who doesn't like Pokemon? It's fun. I don't like it a whole lot. Yeah. Okay, so we got that. Yeah, we will finish this up, like I said, next time, and then I'll start the next card, which will probably be one of the original 3 evolutions. But yeah, and then we'll go from there. Very happy. I think it looks pretty good. The only thing I would like to do, round those corners out. Before I go. I think it makes a little bit of a difference. I could always just fill that in. I don't know what is going on with my phone right now, but it is going on. Okay, let's go. Okay, that is really keeps going. All right. Yeah, I just want to kind of. Too far. All right. Here. Nope. Probably should use the correct color. Nope. All right. There we go. Okay. Solid start. All right. Let's see. My Much appreciated. There we go. Yeah, actually, I could probably throw just another layer. Why not? Black. And that corners real quick. Yeah, those corners are rough. Probably have to come back to them. But it looks like a card a little bit, you know? To start. Alright. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate you guys hanging with me always. Kind of see it all together there. Pretty cool. I'll be finishing this up next time, and hopefully you guys will join me, see how it finalizes out. I don't know how to say that, that's a weird way to say that, but how it comes out all card-like, I guess. Yeah, if you want to see updates from my stream, like the art from my stream, you can follow my socials, at Zann20 on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Kara, Tumblr. I post after I finish here. That's where I go and post the progress from my streams. And then if you follow my TikTok, which is Zann20_art, I post a time-lapse video of what was done on the stream last time, the morning I'm going live, so you kind of get a refresh of the progress that was made, and it lets you know I'm going live. That's the first place it goes up, and then it goes up to all my other socials. So if you follow any of those, you should see that, theoretically anyway. Algorithms are what they are, but and post once a week or twice a week on the same day. It's not exactly the best, but yeah, happy with the progress so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this, and if you know anyone who likes digital art, or Pokemon, for the next little while I'm going to be doing all the evolutions, so I'm going to, for the next good number of streams, it'll all be Pokemon related. That won't always be the case, but for now it's where we're at, because I just want to kind of get all these out. I feel like it'll be, hopefully I get better every illustration. That doesn't always happen that way, but you know. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate you guys, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever, wherever. I always appreciate all the help. Yeah. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm not going to be going live next week. I've got some stuff going on, so we will be skipping 1 week again. Yeah. See you later.